Yo guys, what is up? Welcome back to some more Zero Hour. Welcome back to my How to Play GLA series. Today we're going to have a look at the GLA Toxin General. We're going to look at some of the advantages and disadvantages. Again, as usual, we're also going to talk about the Rebel Ambush versus the Bounty. And we're going to talk about the terrorists and a terrorist comparison, which is actually what we're going to do first here. And I've also got some amazing stats for you. But I put together this video. I thought it would take 20-30 minutes. Usually I just boot up... Usually I just boot something up and I just watch a few replays and I can do the video in 20-30 minutes literally of my time. But I've been putting this one together for a few hours and I've found out some amazing stuff. I can guarantee you now that probably 99% of the people watching this video, including pros, Xcal, Dackle, Size, Logica, Boykit, any of these top pros, I can guarantee you they don't know some of the stats or some of the exact numbers. They might have a vague idea or whatever. But I can assure you that you're about to find out some super... high-level top-secret information that probably not a lot of people know about Zero Hour. Just before we start that, then we're going to talk about some of the simple stuff. So GLA Toxin overall is probably considered the second strongest army in the entire game. A lot of people probably would agree with that. Some other people might say, oh, Demo is slightly more powerful than it, or Stealth is, or whatever. But I think all-rounded, if you get GLA Toxin on the loading screen, you're going to have a pretty good chance no matter whatever you're against. So GLA Toxin is super, super strong. Some of the advantages, well, the main thing is you've got toxin tunnels. So if we just build a worker for a start, you've got toxin tunnels, whereas all the other ones have like a little machine gun on top of the tunnel, and they can good at taking out infantry pretty much only. Very, very little damage against tanks. The toxin tunnel is considered the strongest, do a lot more damage against both vehicles or V's, infantry, even tanks or whatever. In numbers, they can take out overlords and stuff, and especially when you get the gamma upgrade, which is something I'm going to come on to in a second. They're very, very strong. So yeah, pretty much the toxin tunnel does 50% extra damage with that gamma upgrade there. So you can imagine it takes out like even nuke battle masters super, super quick. Very, very strong. Other advantages for toxin, we've got Tox Rebel. So if you get the, well, actually I'm USA here, but if you get the Rebel, it's really good for clearing out the middle buildings. You do not need a Toxin Tractor, which costs a lot more money, a 650 or 750 for demo, 600 for the other GLAs, which is a little bit weird. It's a bit weird that it's more expensive for Tox. Let me see. Yeah, 600 there and 650 there. But this Toxin Rebel, which actually might be why it's more expensive, is because your Tox Rebel can clear out buildings really, really quick. So for taking the middle and tournament desert, you can also use the toxin tunnel really close to buildings, and it will just automatically fire on anyone that goes inside of the buildings and clears it for you. So toxin, one of the strongest things about it is if there's buildings on the map, it's really good at holding them and clearing them out and taking them for yourself. That's really, really strong as well. Some of the other advantages, you've got strong Scorpions because they fire toxin shells as standard, so they're really good at killing infantry. They're also cheap at 650. I think it's the same across the board. It's actually slightly cheaper for GLA, but that $50 extra for the toxin shells is definitely worth it in my view. Really, really good, and 650 is still pretty cheap. Disadvantages for Tox is some of your units are more expensive, so your quads are 750 compared to Stealth and GLA, where your quads is both 700. Quads are quite a common unit, as I'm sure you know. And an early game, let's say you're only on 2 supplies, let's say you're only on these 2 supplies, you've only got a certain amount of income on those 2 supplies per minute, so your extra $50 can add up. It can be the difference between you dropping down a tunnel somewhere or maybe having to wait a few seconds for you to be able to build it. Buggies are also slightly more expensive at 1,100, and your bus is more expensive at 1,100. So the buggies for the other factions, 900, 900. This is Stealth, this is GLA, this is Demo, 1,000, and your buses are most expensive for Demo. But yeah, so a few units are more expensive, but quite a few units are stronger as well, being the Toxin Rebels, the Scorpion. The Marauder also fires Toxin Shells. That's good for clearing out infantry as well. But the Marauder does require a General's Point, and also it takes a long time to build. So you can build like 2 Marauders, but it seems like forever before they finish building. It means you have a lot less units out. But they are strong and they can scrap up, and if they become like Vet 3... Vet 3 and double scrap, they can like literally 1v1 a nuke overlord. I don't know if they can quite take out an Emperor overlord. Probably can. I probably would bet some money on it, but they can 1v1 a nuke overlord, for example, even with a speaker tower, I think. So yeah, there's some of the advantages. Have I covered everything? So the other advantages are the terrorists for demo and for Tox do more damage, and also some of the things you need to know about these as well. So let's see here. Right, demo terrorists do not cause friendly fire. So for example, watch this. We put the dozer there, and we're going to force fire the ground here. It does not kill the dozer. However, Toxin, I'm going to bring Toxin into the mix. So we'll just show you that one again. This is the demo one. Force fired the ground, but it's not damaged your own stuff. It's damaged this because that doesn't belong to me, but it's not damaged this dozer. This is the Toxin terrorist. Kills the dozer instantly. So let's try this. Just killed a load of terrorists around it, and the Toxin that remains is killing your other terrorists as well, which is very, very important. Whereas with demo, force fire the ground right in the middle. You'd think that'd kill all of them, but no, there's no friendly fire. So I think you can even do this next to buildings. You can do it next to anything. And it does not kill your own stuff. Whereas with a Toxin one, the damage is bad. So it could damage our own palace there as well. Okay, but the advantages for Toxin and Demo, they both do the same, or about at least the same damage. So it requires the same amount of terrorists to kill buildings. So for example, which one should I show you? This one's a Tox. So I know these ones are Tox, by the way, because I select it, and you see down here it's got the Gamma upgrade. So if you're ever against the GLA, let's say you're on a DEFCON FFA and you don't know what any armies are, you don't know who's next to you, and they're sending a terrorist to you, so you know they're GLA, but you want to know which one. You click on it, and you can see that Gamma sign. You know they're a Toxin. You click on, it doesn't work with the others actually, but let's say you clicked on, where's that rebel? Well, you know that's the Toxin rebel, but let's say you clicked on this RPG that's going to come out now from demo. I'm going to show you. So I know that's the demolition one. Let's say there was an RPG on the edge of the base because it's got that demolitions upgrade. So that's one other pro tip is if you ever see an enemy unit and you want to know which GLA they are, maybe you've got random balance off or you're not using Gentle or whatever, you want to see what they are. I know that one's Toxin and I know that one's demo because of the upgrades. With the other ones, you can't do it with the other terrorists. Might be some of the other units you can do it on. But there's some of the basics. Okay, so what we're going to talk about here is, right, this is regular GLA here. Now, it's going to require 5 terrorists to kill this supply. Okay, so that's 5. Now we've got 4 from the Toxin. So it requires the same, whether you're killing an arms dealer or a supply. All of this is without the fortified structure, because that's pretty much when you're only going to be doing a TNC. But what I'm going to do is, well, first of all, I'm just going to show you killing the supply. So we're going to kill the supply, but I had to spread them out. Did that just die in 3? I don't think they should have died in 3, but either way, it's dead. Basically, they do more damage than GLA and Stealth. GLA and Stealth, you're going to require 5. So here's Stealth. Actually, these need repairing now, don't they? But you can trust me, it requires 5 to kill an arms dealer. For Stealth, obviously that's died because it had lower HP. But for Demo and for Toxin, it requires only 4 to take these buildings down, whether it be the supply or whether it be the arms dealer. So both of them do more damage. However, you need to be careful of that Toxin spread from the Toxin terrorists. So, for example, what you saw when I was over here, I like to spread them out. So let's pretend these are Toxin terrorists, and we're gonna kill this palace up here. You want to spread them out so they're never attacking next to each other. Otherwise, the Toxin terrorists will kill each other because of the I think it's the Toxin they release and they do friendly fire. So, for example, let's see if we can get it to work here. It doesn't always happen, but it can make a massive difference in the game. It can be literally the difference between you winning and losing the game. So we're going to bunch them all up here, and we're gonna try to kill this barracks. So we should normally be able to kill that barracks, but I'm going to bunch them up.
I will die for our cause, fully vested.
Unit lost.
Now that barracks still died, but you notice that terrorist died before it actually got a chance to explode. So basically, what I'm trying to show you here is I don't know if I can show you again actually on a China building. Is sometimes if your terrorists bunch up, let's say they all bunch up on this corner and they all try to hit it, one of your terrorists or 2 or 3 of your terrorists will die before it's got a chance to do its full damage to the supply. It's like it dies or explodes a little bit too far away and it won't cause maximum damage. Like the area of effect doesn't cause maximum damage and there's a little bit of fall off. So sometimes a building will survive on 1 HP. And that's going to always be when you're GLA Toxin. And the reason is because the terrorists are bunched up. You need to spread them around. Like what I like to do is put 1 on each side to make sure 100% it's never going to happen. So you can put them on like 1 on that side, 1 on that side, 1 on that side. By the way, Toxin terrorists, 3 of them will kill a power plant for China. 3 of them will kill a supply for China. 3 of them will kill a war factory for China. So what I'll do here, I'll just prove that 3 of them can kill the supply for China, where it's required 4 for the other GLAs. Or 3 for demo, sorry. 4 for this GLA, regular GLA, and 4 for GLA Stealth, whereas it'll be 3 and 3. So this one's a Tox one, this one's a Tox one. I'm going to try and bunch it up. I'm going to try and maybe do a terror attack actually, so I can better show you how it would bunch up. So just gonna wait for this technical to come out. Another thing you can do that some of the pros do, not all of them, but some of them do, is you can put your terrorists on control group 4, or whatever group you want to do it. I personally would do it on 4. Technical on 3, put them inside, and then when you want to TNT fast, you unload, press 4, and hit it straight away. So I pressed 4 and hit it straight away. It's a lot quicker than rather trying to select them. But again, did you notice that the friendly fire there? The technical died because there's friendly fire, and it does that with the other 2 GLAs as well. But demo is the only one that doesn't cause friendly fire. You see, no friendly fire caused. Here's the dozer again. We're going to do this. No friendly fire caused. So demo is the one that doesn't cause friendly fire. You need to remember that because it's useful for saving your workers in the early game. You don't need to run your worker away. If you've got a GLA terrorist nearby and it can save it, you don't need to run away. Okay, so that's the difference between the terrorists. So just be really careful when you're doing a terror attack. You need to be careful to hit. The safest way is to hit 1 on each side, or at least press X on them first and then attack, because if they all bunch in the same place, one of them will die. Unfortunately, I haven't been able to show you a perfect example here, but I'm sure if you played any top level game and you've or any game at that for that matter, and you've tried to do a Toxin terrorist, I can guarantee you 100% of the time it's not worked. Maybe 90% of them have hit correctly, but sometimes the buildings do survive. Unfortunately, let's just see it one last try on this power plant to prove that 3 kill a power plant. Just see if we can fail. I don't think we're gonna fail. I think everyone's gonna hit. Let's see. Let's see if that works. Okay, so they've all hit there, but you can trust me. Sometimes the building will survive on 1 HP when you GLA Tox. You try and do a terror attack, and that one of the terrorists will not die or not do full damage, and that's why. Unfortunately, here all the examples have failed to show you that, but yeah, that is something to be aware of. Okay, so some of the other stuff I'm going to talk about. So the Rebel Ambush is also very strong for Toxin. If you get the Gamma upgrade, so not only does that do 50% extra damage on the tunnels, which makes them very strong, but it also does 50% extra damage for the rebels. So when you get the Toxin Rebel level 3, you get 16 rebels. I personally don't like to get level 16. Level 3 or 16 rebels. I prefer to go for the bounty because I think money helps you win games, but I suppose it can be debated because I suppose the Rebel Ambush level 3 super strong and can level a whole army. So for example, let's say you're against Nuke and you drop down 16 Gamma rebels, it can just destroy the whole army based on that. So to be honest, that's probably something I need to weave into my gameplay more, is getting level 3 getting the level 3 rebels. So yeah, they do become super strong. So you'll see here that is firing that the color purple, but when you get this, which is an upgrade I need to tell you about in a second, the whatever they're shooting, Toxin will turn pink, and so will it from the Toxin tunnel as well. You see it's purple now, it'll turn pink, and it does 50% extra damage. Okay, so one of the other advantages for GLA Toxin, this is their I think a lot of people kind of know it, but probably I don't think I've seen people talking about it. It's the Toxin RPG is different to the other GLAs. So when it fires for a start, it looks different. It's firing something different, and I haven't even got the gamma upgrade yet. So you see it looks different. It's like kind of firing a pink projectile. Now there are some things going on here that not a lot of people know. So for a start, when we get, well, actually, the base RPG here compared to that one is firing a different missile because it is different behind the scenes. So what's different about it? Well, the fuel lifetime, I found out this thanks to SkyMix. So thanks to SkyMix for looking into the exact figures. I kind of knew something was going on, but I wanted to know the exact figures. So the fuel lifetime for this RPG firing is 1,250, whatever that's measured in. I don't know if that's milliseconds or whatever. And then the fuel lifetime for this RPG is 5,000. So it's much, much higher. So you're probably thinking, well, what difference does that make? What is fuel lifetime? Well, when you've got an air unit flying over, which actually I could make. When you've got an air unit flying over, most of the time, let's say an Alpha Aurora came in and it hit your arms dealer and these RPGs started firing at it. Well, the missiles look slow for a start, and if the Aurora starts flying away, these missiles, the way I like to say it is like a range fall off. The missiles will try to hit the Aurora, which we'll actually experiment with it in a second when we do make this air unit, whatever we're gonna make. Let's just make a supply. So yeah, 50. I'll say like, well, probably like 70 to 80% of the time. Let's say an Alpha Aurora came in, or whatever Aurora came in.
What's the story?
And it fired at your arms dealer, and your RPGs tried to hit it. If you're one of the other GLAs, and your missiles look like this when they're firing, then most of the time your RPGs are going to miss. However, a Toxin RPG will very rarely miss, and that is because of the fuel lifetime thing that I talked about. If that gets the chance to fire at the Alpha Aurora as it's turning away, I can guarantee 90 or 95% of the time that is going to hit and it's going to kill the Aurora without any upgrades. So it's massive, massive difference. Not a lot of people realize, and to be honest, I didn't realize how big a difference it was between the RPGs making such a massive difference in that fuel lifetime or the damage range, the range fall off thing. But then what makes it even more interesting is when you get this gamma upgrade here, not only does it do 50% extra damage for the Rebel and for your tunnel, but it also increases the damage output for this RPG, and it actually increases it by 30%, so I'm told as of this morning. So even if you build the black market and you get AP not AP bullets, is it AP bullets? I can't remember if it's AP bullet, whatever it is, the one that affects the missiles. We'll build it now because it'll build pretty fast since I've got power. Well, it should do anyway. I'm not convinced that it's actually building it twice the speed. But I forgot what I was going to say. Yeah, even if you get the AP missiles or whatever it's called from there, that only does 25%, and that's actually an upgrade where it tells you, whereas here it doesn't tell you, and it also doesn't have the sign down there that that's actually implementing a change. And I think there's a few things like that in Zero Hour, where some of the upgrades make changes to some of the units. So the upgrade I'm talking about here is AP rockets, actually. So that says 25% extra damage on rocket attacks. So you would think that does 25% on there, but this is actually doing more to it. It's actually increasing it by 30%, which is absolutely crazy. So you see now, I think that is changed from before. It wasn't pink before. So now that's firing pink pink missiles as well. And I did experiment with it as well. So for example, if we target that command center, and I target this command center, let's sell that. Even though that one started later, that command center is going to die first, because it's doing more and more damage. And it's going to do even more damage when I get that upgrade as well. I will cancel that for now, but it's going to do even more damage. But yeah, we'll leave that going for the time being, and we'll see. I'll show you that command center is going to die fast. It's going to die quicker. But there are a few other things. This RPG as well, when it fires this projectile, the missile, it actually, the projectile is traveling faster. And it's not firing faster, the RPG itself, but the projectile is traveling faster, so it will hit its targets faster. So it's kind of like a homing missile for air units. So actually we'll build We'll build a Raptor here. We'll fly over and we'll try and hit it. Yeah, it's traveling faster. And also, let's say your Raptor is turning in the air or your Alpha Aurora is turning in the air. The projectile is going to turn faster with it as well. So not only is it doing more... it's got a further range. Oh, sorry, it's not got a further range. It can't shoot further, but it's got a less of a range fall off. So actually, we'll try and experiment here.
Control the skies.
And then with the Gamma, it's doing more damage as well.
Yep. Flying high. I'm listening.
Must be preserved.
Raptor here.
So we'll try and fly over.
Copy that. I'm listening. Flaring them up.
You see the missile, how it's hitting?
Copy that. We control the skies.
Even though it was
Copy that.
Unit lost.
even though it wasn't that close the first few times, it was actually still hitting. So now we're going to try and hit it with these.
Quick, ready yourselves.
We control the skies. Flaring them up. We control the skies. We are cruising.
Okay, so you
We
see
are
it missed?
Got it. Raptor here. I'm listening. Making a pass.
So I don't want to fly directly over because that wouldn't be a fair comparison, but you see it missed?
Got it. We are cruising.
Okay, so that one hit,
Flaring them up.
and then the rest
Making a
missed.
pass.
Quick,
What do
ready
you got?
yourselves.
And then watch this. We're going to use the Toxin one now
We
on the air
control
unit.
the skies. Got it. Flying high.
So you see, even though I was flying away there, the other one would have missed.
Flying high. Flaring them up.
But that's not going to miss.
Unit
Never
lost.
misses. Or as far as I'm concerned, it never misses. So that's to do with the fuel lifetime is 1,250 for this, whatever that's measured in milliseconds or whatever, and 5,000 for this one. Not to mention with the Gamma, it's doing 30% extra damage. The projectile is also turning faster in the air and also traveling faster in the air as well. So it's basically like a homing missile for the Toxin General. Not a lot of people realize that. So not only have you got stronger terrorists, which really Toxin General probably doesn't need stronger terrorists, does more damage and leaves a toxin behind, but also the RPGs are crazily different. It's just absolutely insane. So I think that's probably it. I know this has been a lot of talking here. I was going to watch a few replays, but since we've got to 20 minutes, maybe I'll split that into another game. But basically, I just wanted to show you some secrets here about this this RPG, which is just crazy. Look, every single bullet that it fires is just hitting every single time. It doesn't matter.
Flying high. I'm listening. Raptor here.
It doesn't matter how far it is. We'll even use 3 here, okay?
Danger may be near.
So you see, for a start, they miss straight away.
Flaring 'em up. We
I'm of
are
course going to try and dodge the missiles on all of my tests.
Making a pass. Got it. Copy that.
You see, all of them
Flaring
missed.
'em up.
Quick,
What
ready
do you got?
yourselves.
Flaring 'em up.
Miss, miss, miss.
Yep. What do you got?
But then here,
I sense danger may be near.
Got it. Listening.
never misses. I even turned away, and it has not missed. And that's just one RPG.
The enemy may be near. I sense danger.
And okay, we have the Gamma upgrade here. It's just going to do more damage. But the range, the range fall off thing is the same. So yeah, some really top level secrets that probably not a lot of people know, or some people knew, probably about this range fall off thing, or maybe you've seen it, but I've never seen it discussed. I've never seen any videos on it or anything like that. And I can guarantee you, a lot of the top level pros definitely don't know some of this stuff. So hopefully, this is some enlightening news, and maybe. Well, will it change how some people play? Probably most of the pros kind of know something is going on, but I don't think they knew the numbers behind it. So yeah, that's it for today's testing, guys. The replays that I was going to watch, I'll do in another video, so don't want to make this a super long video. But yeah, hopefully you enjoyed it, and hopefully you learned some stuff. So GG's, cheers for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.